Yeah, so back to code with Gabriel section, and in this modules we are going to be looking about how to use CSS to create box, to create circle, or to actually use CSS to create borders, to see how borders look like. So that's all we are going to be talking about in this modules. So the first thing I'm going to do is to go back inside this our code. So I'm just going to eradicate this, then give it a division. From this actual division, so I'm just going to give it a class. So if you don't know what a class is just a kind of a blueprint for other kind of sub properties and methods. So that's in the programming definitions, but in this modules, a class right here actually shows a kind of a blueprint also, whereby two or more tags can actually belongs to, like that. So I'm just going to give this one a box, so class of box, like that. Let's just see what we got. So I'm just going to eradicate this, we don't need this anymore. So in this kind of page, what we actually want to design is the div. So we're just going to go ahead and select the div like this. Then because we actually want to design the div, we want to specify the class of the div that we want to design. So we are going to say div dot, then followed by the name of the class, which is box, then followed by the execution bracket. Before right here, if I have this, I want to have another div right here that I actually want to give it a class equal, I'm just call this border, like that. So border, sorry, border, I think it's border, I don't even know, my bad. Okay, so probably I actually want to go ahead and have this. If I do actually try to indicate the kind of the class I'm selecting, I might end up having a problem. I'm going to show you that one later. So let's go ahead and do the first thing. The first thing I want to show you is the height. So we can actually have the an height. Let's say it is measured in pixels, em, percent, and some other measure property like that. But you realize that you're going to end up using pixels that you use any of the other a lot. So let's say we have 300 pixels, and then we want to declare the width. So everybody know what your height means. So height is just a kind of probably with saying the height of the box. The width actually means the length, the breadth of the box. So let's just go ahead and put, probably we want a square box. We set 3 pixels to sorry, 300 pixels to. Then we can go ahead and declare a background color for heat. There we can say give us green. So green seems to be rolling in my heart this morning. Okay, so what I just did right here is just create a box with a class, so we create a div element with a class of box, and I go right into the style.css code to go ahead and style it up. So let's go ahead and refresh this. Okay, that's it. So this is the box we actually created. It's not bigger up to this extent. That is because this is the normal size how it's supposed to look. So we just created a box with this little style I'm giving it right here. So what I wanted to show you is this. We can try to increase the width, we can try to increase the height. If I say the width is 500 pixels, you see what is going to happen. Okay, you can see it's actually 500 pixels. If I want it to actually spread out throughout the whole page, starting from here, then go right here to this end, instead of declaring it in pixels, I can just say the width is 100%. So that is where the percent actually comes in. Okay, so now I have it 100%. If I actually don't want it to be 100%, probably I want it to be 50%, which is the half of the whole screen, then I can say 50 instead of 100. Okay, so that's all we got. That's actually what we have. So we have the box right here. So that is what I want to show you about the box. So using the height, width property, and the background color. So let me just show you the conflict between these two. Let's go ahead and design this also and see what we've got. So we're just going to say div with a class of border. So right here we want to do the same thing that we did, height of 300 pixels, width of, let's give it 300 pixels too. We want to actually give a background color. We want to give let's give aqua. Okay, so let's go ahead to the page and refresh it. So right be at the bottom right here, so we are having this aqua box also showing up right here. Okay, so let me just go ahead and increase the width also to 50%. Alright, so this is actually the two box that we have created with different colors. They are having different colors but the same property. So this is where the conflict comes in if we don't actually try to declare the class that each of them belongs to. So probably let me say I clean up this class and I clean up this class. So I'm just going to end up having a conflict in my code. As you can see, I actually have a conflict in my code. So the both box are actually assuming to be having the same style, because this is actually picking all the div elements in this page and giving them this sign that design that I have actually created. So that is why sometimes if you want a particular box to have a kind of a different looks or the same elements, they are the same elements and you want them to have some kind of a different property, you need to give them a class, and that is why we are having a class. So I'm just going to revive this back. Okay, so let's just go ahead and refresh it. So we are back now, and also that is our class work. So there is another way to do this by giving them an identity also. So an identity actually also works. So let us go ahead and check what's our an identity look like. So instead of class, I'm just going to clean this up and we're going to put id, and I'm just going to come back here. I'm just going to put id. So id means the identity of this box. So for me to be able to recognize it, to give it an identity, I just give this one an id of box and this one an id of border. So the difference between the class and the id selector is that we are actually using div dot box. So in this case going to be div dot hash, sorry, div hash, not dot. So div hash of box. So this hash identify or means an id, and we can come down right here, I'll pick this up. So this that also identify div or kind of a border like that. So div like that. So let's just refresh it. So it's still working, the board is still the same. So don't just be confused. Let me just come down right here to give it a proper definition again. So if you're actually selecting a class, it's going to be div dot followed by the class name, if then followed by the execution brackets like that. So if you are actually selecting a an id, it's going to be div hashtag then followed by the id name, then we follow like that. So that's just the syntax. Please don't forget. All right, see you in the next tutorial.